As you know, the Reserve Bank, it increased interest rates again, making cost of living even harder for every single Australian. As you know, they've gone up by not the full 0.5%, which they've been doing recently, but they've gone back to 0.25%. But it is now the 6th time this has happened this year. Put simply, that means that since Albo became the Prime Minister, it now costs an extra $834 if you want to pay off a $500,000 loan. You've got to find an extra $1,251 if you're paying off a $750,000 loan. Or if you have a $1 million loan, like many people in the big cities do, you had to find an extra $1,600 since the start of the year. Nothing to see here, no change, no pressure. Did anyone tell you that this would be the cost of a new Prime Minister? Because there it is in black and white. 6 interest rate rises, 5 on their watch. This is the fastest increase of interest rates in generations, while your wages are back at 2011 spending levels. So you're being paid like it's 2011, but you're being charged like a wounded bull in 2022. Of course, all of this has nothing to do with the government, because the media is more than happy for the government to simply play passenger, not participant in the Australian economy.
The storm clouds are gathering in the global economy, and that's not irrelevant to us as we finalise the budget.
Thankfully, there are some that are still trying to say cost of living is wildly difficult for millions of Australians.
Well, they went to an election, Chris, saying to families that they would reduce power prices by $275. They promised that on 97 occasions. And Mr Albanese's never mentioned the figure since the election. So there's a lot of expectation in this budget that will go to helping families with the cost of living pressures. They said they had a plan. We presume that we'll see the plan in the budget because there's no plan being laid out at the moment.
But a big part of this is the rest of the cheer squad media who were so angry months ago who have nothing to say now. One of the economics reporters for the Channel 9 newspapers demands, Treasurer, please don't do anything when it comes to helping us with the cost of living. This is the same economic expert who goes on television telling you how to trim your budget. Over and over again, she'll tell everyone how to deal with the cost of living, just the government plays no role in this, unless, of course, it's a Liberal government. She says, don't worry about petrol prices. That might be fine for her, and I don't know how much money she earns. But in the real world, there are truckies that have given up in the past couple of weeks because petrol's gone back up by 25 cents. Oh, but she has some suggestions, though. 20 ways to slash your food bills. Now, of course, all of this, yet again, is heading towards a budget in 3 weeks' time. A budget delivered by a politician who demanded, when he wasn't in charge of anything, that the Australian government needed to buy an airline. A politician who, when he turned around and voted for the tapering off of JobKeeper, demanded that it kept going for a lot longer. This is a bloke who loves being the passenger but not a participant. Have a look at what he is trying to say about the BS that's coming our way in just 3 weeks' time.
The October budget won't be a fancy budget. It won't be some kind of vanity exercise. It'll be all about difficult decisions in difficult times. Our budget is more vulnerable than it should be. We need to make it more resilient. We need to rebuild those buffers against international turbulence.
He went on to say at a press conference today that this will be a difficult budget, making difficult decisions. Well, I'll give you the tip. If it's in $1 of deficit, and it will be by tens of billions of dollars, then no tough decisions are about to be made. The reality is that while it is easy for people to talk about things like the top-end tax cuts being unfunded because we don't have the money to replace the income that it would lose to the Treasury, so too are plans to eliminate coal and gas, to eliminate petrol cars, to get everyone to give up smoking. All of that would cost tens of billions of dollars every single year, which would mean the budget deficit, which means every promise the government makes can't be afforded. It's just they think it's okay to borrow money for certain policies but not to give people back their own money. Watch this space in the next little while. Of course, despite the fact they voted for it, despite the fact that they lied to people about not doing anything about it during the election, they will backflip because Channel 2's telling them to.